has 7. That's a little interesting to me that the American Conference, has more players playing in the Super Bowl than the Big 12. Then followed by the Mountain West, Conference USA, Independents have 2. There's 1 player from the MAC schools, and there's 14 players, which is very, very interesting. There's 14 players from FCS schools. So you know that the Patriots and Bill Belichick, man, they go and they find players like Chris Hogan, God knows, from places like I've never heard of before. And so there are a huge influence of FCS players in this year's Super Bowl game. Just some interesting little stuff right there. Factoids about the Super Bowl coming up in 2 weeks. Let me read some of your messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com. And once again, if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, go to Spreaker.com. That's speaker with an aura. All right, once you get on there, then there's a little chat bubble icon, kind of like a comic book talk little bubble. Click on that. Just throw in a profile pic as your for your account and jump into the chat room, man, and chat with the Stewies, and we'll get your thoughts and everything we're talking about in the show. Let me read some of your messages from the chat room. From Dale, Real Talk Chuchi, we had a down year. Hell no. From B. Jones, we also have 4 HBCU players in the Super Bowl. All right, that's big stuff. That wasn't in my notes that I had. That's obviously big stuff. Yeah. Who are those 4 players? Give me a heads up on who those 4 players are, B. Jones. From Tiffany Sports and Heels, Atlanta Falcons, finger wave. Hey, Atlanta I don't know if we can put that on a billboard or nothing like that. But thank you, Tiffany, for participating. Come up with something else. From Dell, let's be clear, no beef with the Falcons, but leave our regal Ravens out of this. Ain't nobody talking about the damn Ravens. From Robert One Dope Boy Slade, Atlanta, bring the noise, Falcons. Atlanta, bring the noise. Atlanta, bring the noise. I don't know. We'll write it down. Atlanta, bring the noise, Falcons. Let's get a couple more choices before we decide on Atlanta, bring the noise, Falcons. From Tiffany Sports and Heels, I can't wait for the Patriots to win. And hey, TL disappears. Laugh out loud. Tiffany, why are you? Tiffany, why are you throwing shade on the Falcons? Your team's not in it. I think Tiffany's a fan of the Baltimore Ravens. Your team's not in it. Why would you hate? Why wouldn't you congratulate? From Grego, the Patriots fan, he says, Rutgers is the Patriots farm system. We love smart players. Or maybe Rutgers players understand cheating schematics better than everybody else. From Vince Wright, Hageman is a former Minnesota Golden Gopher. That's right. I mentioned that yesterday. Him and Devondre Campbell, who was absolutely, beasting. Him and Deion Jones, man. For people that don't know, Deion Jones came out of LSU. And so clearly, if you look at those 2 players, they're not like the big type. There was a time in the NFL where like big linebackers were the thing. And not that they still aren't popular if they can run. But you remember like Levon Kirkland. Like Levon Kirkland was like 6'3", 260 pounds. But now it's more about speed, and for obvious reasons, I think. You got to be able to guard some of these high-octane type offenses, these 4 or 5 wide receiver sets. So you need to be able to cover a running back out of the backfield to a much greater degree than you did 15, 20, 30 years ago. And so Devondre Campbell, man, and Deion Jones, smallish in relative terms to some of the bigger linebackers from the past, 6'1", 225, 230 pounds, maybe 6'2", but they can run. And they can go sideline to sideline, man. And that's once again about the culture and about the philosophy of Dan Quinn and coming over to this Atlanta Falcons team and instituting that with the team, man. From Clay Poison Davis, this is all Dan Quinn and Kyle's doing. Yeah, Dan Quinn being the head coach and Kyle Shanahan, who we absolutely killed last year for the way that the offense had looked. The offense looked horrible last year. And Matt Ryan had one of his worst years ever. Remember they started off with a real good note, but then it seems like somebody figured them out. midway through the season, somebody figured them out, and that was the blueprint to stop the Falcons. And Matt Ryan struggled the rest of the year, but they've turned it all around this year, man, and it's working. From Fel Pay in the chat room on Spreaker.com, he says, Grego having beef with the Falcons is understandable. The rest of y'all need to ask yourselves a question. Do you really want to see the cheating-ass Patriots win another damn trophy? That's it. That's it. And he says, hell no. Y'all jump on this Falcons bandwagon for the next 2 weeks. I agree 100%. Now listen. I mean, that's gospel right there. That's gospel right there. It's a simple question. Like, it was a very simple question during this election year was, both of the candidates aren't great. Both of the candidates aren't great. I've acknowledged that. Hillary Clinton was probably one of the worst nominees for the Democratic Party and maybe in U.S. history, presidential election history. She was. She had a lot of negative things on her resume that people hammered home. Okay, she was. I've acknowledged that many, many times. But the choice between her and Donald Trump was very, very, very easy to me. Evidently, it wasn't to a lot of other people. Right, it was the lesser of two evils. And this is the same scenario. Whether you're in the NFC South, whether you're a Saints fan or a Carolina Panther fan or whatever team that you root for, do you really want to see the cheating-ass New England Patriots win another Super Bowl? The answer to that question is no. The answer to that question is no. And deep down in your heart, I don't know whatever bias you got. Maybe you came to Freaknik back in 1995 and you lost your keys or your car got towed or, somebody grabbed your booty and they put it on videotape. I don't know. If you're a lady. But unless you're from Boston, unless you're from Massachusetts, unless you're from the New England part of this country, that whole New England area, unless you're from that part of the country, or maybe you have a cousin or something that's on the team. If your brother played on the Patriots, it's understandable. If your granddaddy was one of the original players of the New England Patriots football team when they first came into existence, maybe that's understandable as well, But outside of that, man, there's no reason for the rest of America to root against the Patriots. The cheating-ass Patriots, once again, I'll remind you, for the Atlanta Falcons. And you know what? They always do this. They always do this. Like the closer we get to the Super Bowl, you'll start to see these little stories about, which states are rooting for which team. And, they'll have a little diagram where they do a poll, an online poll, and they can tell where the people voting are from. And so they'll have the states that are rooting for the Falcons, they'll have them shaded one color, and the states that are rooting for the New England Patriots, they'll have them shaded another color. I find it hard to believe that outside of the states and that New England little group of states, okay, outside of them, I would think that every other city, every other state in this country is probably and should be rooting for the Atlanta Falcons. It's as simple as that. The lesser of two evils. From Thorny Switch, I've been to Boston, Georgia. Does that count? For these purposes, it does, Thorny. From Grego, I'm keeping a list of this show. February 6th, y'all better strap up and get ready for these darts. Whatever, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to start reading your damn chat messages. From RC, or unless you got over what happened in 98, I compare my hatred for the Falcons to Miami Hurricanes fans who hate on Ohio State. Why you got to bring up old shit? Why you got to bring up old stuff? Huh? Why you got to bring up old stuff? I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. From Clay Poison Davis, only a few good black people are from, like, New Edition and free. Right. Unless you from, like, I'm going to guess. And this is just me guessing. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm going to guess just like the election, you know, when 95% of black people voted for Hillary Clinton, I'm going to guess that there's a very small percentage of black people that are rooting for the New England Patriots. Just like the Boston Celtics back in the day, not really. We not really feeling Larry Bird and Danny Ainge. Tell the truth, the shame the devil. Like, there's not too many black people out there rooting for Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, and cats like that, Mike Vrabel. Yeah. From Clay Poison Davis, baller the New Edition for getting their star on the Walk of Fame. Don't know why it took so long. Shouts out to New Edition. The actual, we got to go to a break. The New Edition got their Hollywood Walk of Fame stars or whatever. They got a new TV movie coming out, I think, on BET, TV1, one of the black networks. Great stuff, man. And you know, it's a long, tragic story with me and New Edition. I was an original member of the group. I've shared this with you already. I was an original member of the group, and not only that, another little tie-in in New Edition is their DJ Shakim, went to South Carolina State with me. Shouts out to DJ Shakim. Another interesting little tidbit about the great DJ Shakim is I gave Shakim his first job DJing a party in Orangeburg back in 1992. I did. No lie. No lie. I'm not bullshitting you. I gave DJ Shakim his first job. I was the bossless, which is the president of the chapter of Omegas on campus at South Carolina State at the time. Do or die, Xi Psi. So I was the bossless. That was my senior year. Shakim was like a freshman that year. And as far as I know, I hired him, gave him his first job to DJ in Orangeburg. The rest is history. That man's been the DJ of New Edition, I'm going to guess, for 10 years. And, I mean, he is ill. I mean, he is real treacherous on them wheels of steel. Yeah, a little factoid for you right there. All right, when we get back from the break, man, more of your messages. It's hour number 2 of the damn show already. Damn. Time flies when you're having fun. Paying homage to the great UGK today as well. We'll read messages in the chat room, man. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show coming up next in 3 minutes. Don't go away.